good. How are you guys?
Good.
Yeah, awesome. I guess to start off, can you guys just introduce yourselves?
We're Kristy and Austin Nakamura, realtors here on Oahu. We are specifically in Mililani, where we live, and that's where we focus our business at, though we do work with buyers and sellers throughout the island.
That's awesome. What's the purpose of the video today?
So we wanted to kind of do a case study over our marketing and how to stand out when it's not a seller's market. For this example, we had a house that we had listed, got it in contract in a week, and went $100,000 over asking and had multiple offers.
That's awesome. Yeah, the first section here, we're going to talk about the initial strategy. Can you tell us about the initial strategy when you first met the sellers?
Sure. So when she first reached out, we came over to the property and had a sit-down conversation. So Austin and I have two different sides of the business that we really focus on. So I came with more of, here's some general numbers, but don't get so stuck on that yet because we're months out, right? We had a seller's net sheet with a couple different scenarios and really just talked about the overall process and gave them the education on what to expect from both sides of us throughout this process, how to make investments in the home that weren't gonna break the bank, but also really enhance the property. Austin, do you want to talk about the upgrades they decided?
So part of what we do is, like Kristy said, during that initial consultation, try to get the sellers familiar with us as much as we can, and part of that is transparency. And with that transparency, we always want our sellers to know that we're not just wanting you to spend money, we want you to upgrade the home in ways that are gonna matter for your bottom dollar. So this home in specific, we had them take their luxury vinyl plank flooring all the way to the upstairs, which they had carpet in. We also advised them to reglaze the tubs, which again, we live in Hawaii. There's red dirt, especially here in Mililani. So when a buyer walks in and they see stains on the tub, it's not the best thing. So those little things to, again, not break the bank, but have our home be as turnkey, as ready as possible. And again, just presenting this in the initial listing presentation with, hey, no money up front. This is just our knowledge from our experience, and we would like to share it with you, whether you go with us or not.
Absolutely. And then really just kind of deep diving into what is your goal, because no matter what their end goal was, we would have a different strategy. So if it's, I want to spend a little bit money to try to get the top dollar, we're here to support that, hook you up with the local vendors to make sure that your house is clean, it's staged, all of the things that really help elevate it. But also we have a set of strategies if they came and said, hey, I have $0 to put into the property, what can I do to make it work anyway? And having those scenarios prepared either way.
All right, second section is about preparing the home. Question for you is, what preparation did you recommend to get the home ready for the market?
We talked a little bit about the flooring, but one thing that matters to us is the vendors that we use. One thing that is important to us is being on that vendor list. When you do your home improvements, the biggest thing is making sure that the person is licensed and they have a contract, because no matter what type of work that you're doing, it doesn't matter if the right person isn't doing it, then you're SOL, as they like to say anyway. So part of the big first step is actually getting the right vendor in the door. So that's kind of our first step in what we do. And yeah, Kristy can talk more about the specifics.
So on our first meeting, we did a general walkthrough of the property. How's the paint look? How's the baseboards? Is it clean? Is it dirty? What small fixes could you do? There was a different light fixture in every single room, and in some rooms we have 2 or 3 light fixtures. So we're like, that looks tacky, right? You don't want these 80 looking ceiling light fixtures. So they changed all of those out. They put on new hardware. They had asked us if they needed to do higher end changes, fix the sprinkler outside, or actually redo the bathrooms versus reglazing. And to redo a bathroom, that's $15,000, right? So we're like, no, you're not gonna see that return on investment. Do the glazing instead. Get the house professionally cleaned. That makes a huge difference. And the biggest is we have stats that show with staging the home properly, you sell the house faster and for more money. And a lot of people look at the cost of that and they're like, oh my gosh, there is no way. But if you really look at that return on investment, it's solid 10 times out of 10 pretty much. And when a buyer came in, the biggest thing that Austin and I talked to them about is they need to be able to envision themselves living here without having to do a lot of work. So what's the most economical things we can do that when they walk in, they are like, wow, I can just move my furniture in here and I don't have to do a thing.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk marketing. What kind of response did the listing receive once it hit the market?
Our marketing started before it hit the market because we knew that we had a gem in this property or any property that we have. We like to highlight the best things about the property. So because we have the ability to market the property before it comes to market, we put it on what is called the coming soon list. We put it on there for realtors to view and see based off of the criteria of the home, but we also run that in accordance with our social media. So we like to do an outside-in media approach. We like to preview the outside of the home, whether it be amenities, little things that set it apart. For this home, it was the cul-de-sac and the perimeter lot. Those are things that you rarely find in Mililani, especially Mililani town. So we like to highlight those things, build interest for people. Another big thing was the interest rate, which was a 2.25% VA assumable loan. We marketed around those things first, generated the buzz, and the buzz came in quickly and very strong. From there, we marketed our way to the inside. When we went live, we gave everyone the full video access tour. That's just kind of what we did on the video and social media side. Kristy can kind of talk about what we do with reverse prospecting and other things like email marketing campaigns.
A lot of realtors, it's easy to put a home on the MLS, right? And everybody's going to see it. It's going to go to Redfin and Zillow, and that's nothing special. But when we do the reverse prospecting, we have a list of the other top 500 realtors on island. They're the most likely people that are going to have a buyer. So we reach out to them initially, right? We've got this house coming up. It's gorgeous. This is kind of the overall details of what we can tell you about it. You got any buyers looking? And then we can also match up with the MLS, look at who's looking. We send them a specific email for that. Everybody that reaches out during that coming soon period, we're sending them all the information. We build a website just for this property. It's got two functions. One of them is branded, so we can send it out, but this isn't our house, right? So we want to be in the spirit of collaboration with everybody else. So we also have one that's unbranded without our information on it. We send that to realtors and say, hey, please share this with your client. It helps them look like an expert too, because they're not just sending their client a Zillow link, right? But something a little bit elevated. We're just like, hey, you want to work with us, we want to work with you, and showcase this property to the highest level that's possible.
When it comes to marketing the property, we like to equate it to fishing. So the more lines that you have out in the water, the more opportunities you have to catch a fish. That's the same way we look at selling a home. The more ways and avenues that we have to put it in front of buyers, the more opportunities we have to find the right buyer for your home.
That's awesome. I like that. Let's talk specifically about your social media strategy and the results that came from that strategy.
We had one reel. I toured the outside of the property and I was talking about, you could hear all the birds in the background. It was like a 30-second video. Austin is a whiz at editing and putting music and all of that. That reel alone did over 260,000 views.
Wow.
So that was the launching part for that. And then how many other reels did you make?
We talked about the outside-in strategy with our marketing previously. I think we might have made 7 or 8 in the series just from the outside, getting into different topics, whether it be multi-generational living, different features of the home, not just look at this one thing, but different things to put as many lines in the water as possible. One way that we do that, like Kristy said, is to incorporate some of that music that people would like to listen to or that might catch your ear or is a little bit trendy, because we all scroll and you need something that stops you, whether it be something that you recognize visually or whatever you can recognize to stop and hold your attention is what we're going after. One video we featured a pool canning tree, which is a local hit here, and said, hey, this is great for graduation. If you got 5 kids who are all still in school, you can save money on your lace for graduation.
And then a lot of it comes into actually sitting down with the sellers and listening to the story of the house, taking that story and storytelling through social media so people can get that feel for it. Because that puakeni tree that we featured in a video, the next door neighbor actually chased people away from the tree because people come to steal from it. So whether we would have made a video the tree or not without spending that time with the sellers to understand what actually makes this property unique, because every house has a story to tell and you just have to have the gumption to chase the story.
Telling those stories really helps buyers imagine themselves in a home instead of just a house.
What specific results did you get from your social media? Do you have any numbers?
So between the different reels, we had over 10,000 shares. We had close to 20,000 likes. We had over 300 DMs. We had a system when they came in. So it wasn't just like we had ready to go answers to different sets of questions. Most of the time you're going to get the same questions, right? So we were ready to respond to them, follow up, give them the needed information, all with the goal of getting our seller that one offer that made sense.
That pretty much laid it all out with the results that we had. And I think that covered it pretty well.
And I heard you guys had a pretty popular open house.
Open houses are always a big thing for us. We look at it as a potential to help our sellers, again, just have the buyers in the property. So we do things like we put out big signs that are about 4 or 5 feet tall. They're white. They have our picture on it, all the info, so you know where you're going and you're not saying, oh shucks, I didn't see another sign to direct me. We have big feather banners out. We did a giveaway for this open house just to bring as many buyers into the home as possible to do the best by our sellers. Open house is a big thing because it is one of the first times that buyers do get to come in the home. That's our strategy behind it and best showcasing the home.
And then to make the open house a little bit more enjoyable or flow better, we had a strategy. So Austin's mom came and was our greeter, which was amazing. She ended up knowing like half the people that came through anyway. We had some fun with that, but yeah, just welcoming them in, giving them the flyer, getting a little bit of information because we knew this one was going to be busy. And we wanted to be able to actually talk and answer questions as people came through. So for us, it was really important. Everybody's checked in, they have a goodie bag, they've got the MLS sheet and the flyer for the property. And now that they've been greeted, we can really take the time to focus on those questions and answers and make them feel welcome here, because it's all part of the experience, right? If you go to an open house and you've got like a grumpy listing agent, I don't have time for you. I don't want that juju in my life.
So when people come through our open houses, whether they're represented or not, they get treated the same way and their questions get answered just as much as they were if they were an unrepresented buyer.
How many people came to your open house?
Between the three, over 130.
130?
Yes.
That's a lot.
130 groups.
So Kristy mentioned that we had 3 open houses. We have what's called a broker's open during the week, strategically for the realtors who have a buyer and they've been monitoring the MLS with that coming soon strategy that we talked about to give them first access. Then we do an evening one during the week, which is access for the neighbors to kind of say, hey, come look at the property, look at what we've done, answer questions that they may have, because Kristy said when we do the public open house, we want to make sure as many buyers who are going to actually be qualified for the home, we can answer their questions.
Absolutely. We also send out postcards to let the neighbors know what's going on. Why is there all this traffic? Like, why is my street clogged? Here's your answer to the question before you even have to ask it. If you want to come check it out, come on over.
I feel like it's pretty rare to integrate your neighbors as well in a sell like this, right? Let's go to navigating the offers. How did you guide the sellers through multiple offers?
So part of navigating the offers is giving them a preparation for what's going to happen. So part of what we talked about was that coming soon and the buzz that we knew it was generating. So with that buzz, we knew there was going to be multiple offers coming in. And like with us, we're always like to be organized. So what we had in before we even had the offers in is our spreadsheet, which lays out the different offers, the financing, all the different details that matter when a seller is looking and differentiating through the sellers.
An offer is more complex than just the purchase price, right? You have concessions, the type of financing, the total cash down, plus the purchase price, plus any contingencies. That's all laid out on the spreadsheet that Austin was referring to. And then we say, okay, now this offer may be like a crazy high price, but if they have a contingency, if it's poorly written, if it's just based off an escalation clause, maybe it's not actually the best offer. So we take it down to that granular level and then say, okay, this is really what each offer looks like.
Yeah.
We rank them for them, and we always tell our sellers, this is not our house, this is not our money. Whatever you tell us to do, we're gonna do that, but we wanna give you the education so that you can make the best decision for your family or for yourself.
And with that education aspect, sometimes the highest offer isn't the best offer, and we like to remind sellers of that.
What would you say to homeowners thinking about selling?
What we would have to say to homeowners who are thinking about selling is, look, if you guys just want a transparent, honest conversation of even if you should sell, we're the group to talk to, because we're going to give you that transparent, honest, and come at you from an educational standpoint so you can make the best decision for your family.
And sometimes selling isn't the right thing to do. And if that's the case too, that's where that transparency with our team comes in, and we'll make us plan for when it is the right time for you. If you want that team that's based in education, caring, and what we call like guiding with aloha, we would love to help you.
So go ahead, give us a call, shoot us a DMs, we're here for you.